Let's do this.
Happy Monday, everybody. Hey, welcome to Team Ohana. I'm your host, Rich, and we are here to check out the cover price. I almost said top 10, but they did a change of format. We actually have a top 20. So they actually have the top 10 and the um, honorable mention or whatever you want to say. But we got 20 books to look at. And if you're willing to stick around, I'm willing to run through them. So let's take a look at what we got here in the chat. We got Robert checking in first. Good evening, Rich and my fellow coconuts. It was great seeing Greg last Saturday at the Patreon get together. It absolutely was. It was wonderful. I messaged him about 10 minutes before the meetup saying, hey, we're having the meetup. If you'd like to join us, no pressure, but, we'd love to see you. And he's like, oh, what's the link? I'm like, so that was great. And Sticker Buns of course say, no, he missed the hangout and Greg was there. Damn you, ADHD. You know what? It happens, And of course, mahalo for Meatwad number 1. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. All right, so like I said, yeah, we've got 20 books, and we're going to start right at number 20. Try to discuss why they're hot, if it's a good time to buy them, if not. And it's not as much ultimates as you think. It's good. And then at the end, I'm going to give you my gun to the head pick, which one I think is the best bang for your buck, which one has the best chance based on today's prices to either go up or at least go down the least, and which one I think is the rubber band to the butt, the biggest dud in the list. So let's start right off with number 20. And this was actually kind of surprising to me. And I'm glad it's there, though. So we've got Omega Man number 3, first appearance of Lobo. Now, this book is actually up a little bit, and this is a great book because Greg and I each have a copy of 9.8. This is our shared book. He had one on his wall for the longest time. Hopefully he still has it. I forgot to ask him, and I was so jealous. I had to get one, the same book, so we had something really there in common. Most recent sales on this, we've got $349 for a 9.8, which is about what it's been going for the longest time. I mean, it fluctuates anywhere between 300 to 400, where 350 is its middle ground. Highest known value about a year, 14 months ago was at 554. It's never super shot up. However, this is one that's everybody believes Gunn is going to be bringing to his DC universe, but we haven't gotten any real concrete evidence for. And the day that happens, this book is really going to shoot up. Coming in at number 19. I love the description in this, by the way. We've got X-Men Annual number 14. First full appearance of Gambit. Appears in 15 panels on 9 different pages. Speaks and is called by his name. Predates Uncanny X-Men 266. If that's not the biggest argument for this is a first appearance and not 266, I don't know what is. But the industry prefers 266 because he's actually on the cover, I guess. Now, I have a 9.8 on this, but we've got up 22% on this book. Yeah, a 9.9 did sell for 10 grand back in 2021. That's nuts. They wouldn't get 3 grand for that book right now. 9.8 is selling now for the last sale of 159. Raws are selling for in the $50 range for a really high grade. This might not be such a bad book to grab, especially if you can get it in the raw. Something that you think is a real solid 9.8 candidate. Remember, this is a really thick book. I think it's a square bound. But if you can get a $45 one, if the industry really does start to shift over and say that this is his first appearance, this might be a sleeper even at this price. Coming in number 18, this was a shock for me to see this. I don't know why this is on the hot list, but I love when I see this book. Marvel Team Up number 1, and this is a tough book because of that black cover. And also, I mean, when this book came out in 72, people, it didn't get sold a lot, and people didn't buy it to take care of it. They were just like, oh, Marvel Team Up? This is interesting. Well, this is up 22%. And you see, I don't see any sales for a 9.8. 9.6 sold in 2022. It's the last sale for that for $1,900. Now let's look at the recent sales. We've got a 9.0 for $375, an 8.5 for $121, an 8.0 for 165. These are all within the last month. So I think if you got that number 9 there, you're looking at a high money, but you should be able to get an 8.0 to an 8.5 for under $200. Now, if you look over on the raw sales, I see near mint 9.0 to 9.4s. At last sale of that was 130 on February 7th, and very fines 7.0 to 8.5. That's a really broad range for 76. I would love to find something in the 9.0 range on this, especially in a raw. And if I found a 9.0 to a 9.4 near mint copy in for 130, I'm buying that all day long. Uh, I don't think there's any news about Misty Knight. I don't know why this one specifically. That's Misty Knight's first appearance. She's unnamed, but it was her first appearance. I don't see any news about this, but this is still such a cool key Bronze Age book, almost Silver Age, that you would really do well to have this in your collection. So number 17, we have a surprising book, X-Men number 4, first appearance of Omega Red from 1992. And it's showing the direct sale edition. Now, I looked at the prices before on this, and this was in 2021. This book sold at a 9.8 for $500. Yikes. Last sale on this, 96 bucks for a 9.8, 23 for a high grade raw. We're still going to be getting a Thunderbolt. So Omega Red is in it. Could you really go terribly wrong for getting a 9.8 for $96 on this book? There's so many of them graded now, but I mean, it's funny is I don't have a 9.8. I think mine came back a 9.6. So I don't know. I like the idea that you could take advantage of the lower market right now, but there's so many other books that if I had a spare $100 that I would buy before this book, if it's one that you always wanted to get, it's not terrible. Even if it drops a little bit, it's not going to drop a lot more. But it is what it is. I don't think that character is really going to gather a lot of demand when the Thunderbolts come out. So coming in number 15, this is interesting. The Transformers, Daniel Warren Johnson and Mike Spicer. This is the Image number 1 that came out in October. And you're going to see the price here, but relax for a second. It says 324, but that is for a 9.9. Sold for 324. The 9.8 only sold for $67 just a couple days ago. And really high grade raws for 20, 9.0 to 9.4. Last sale of that was just about the same time for $5. So I don't know how that happened if 7.0s are selling for 15. I think that's yeah, maybe somebody got it for that, but really high shipping. I don't know. So if you really wanted to get this book, remember this one had a lot of printing. Everybody ordered this one. 9.8s for $67. I still think it might even come down a little bit more. I think there's just too many of them. So 2019, 18, 17, 16. Number 15, we have Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, number 1, continuing its little climb. And really happy about that because on my CGC pre-screen, I did get one of these back as a 9.8, which made me happy. I've been happy, even happier if I gotten all 3. But we've got the highest known 9.8 was in January at $240. But right now, one sold the other day for $217, and I believe last week it was at $215. So it's holding its value. $70 for the raws and high grade. Now that I believe has dropped a little bit, not a lot, but I think it has dropped a little. But also $70 for near mint 9.0 to 9.4s. So $70 for the raws is about where you're going on that. People are continuing to read it, and I think the storyline is good enough that people are really, it's going to continue to go. I think we might be looking at the next Jessica Slaughter, Turn around. Something is killing the children. I had to turn around just to read the book. Um, I don't think that it's going to hit the same numbers that it did. But if this ever gets optioned or gains more and more steam, probably could hit $300 for the raw. There are a lot of different covers on this, and there is a 1 in 25 virgin variant, which that's the big one that I was very happy that I got is a 9.8. But just going to open this up so you can see there are a bunch of different covers on this. This is a cover B, and this was very nice as well as like a storybook. And every month when it comes out, it has a storybook version of their print as well. So um, I don't think this book is coming back to Earth. I think that this is up here for a while. And if this does get any kind of option news or continues to just grow in its audience, this may still have room to go up. Number 14, we have the Edge of Spider-Verse. Surprise, I believe this is a one per store. Uh, surprise is actually still on the list. It's from February 2021. Is the first appearance of Weapon 8. I said this book was going to dive down because I think there's too many Spider-Man villains and none of them seem to have any longevity lately. And this book is current trend down 10.5%. I don't see the cover A on this list anymore. We had the Raws originally were selling for $250 back in February. Now 9.8s are selling for $138, and near mints are selling for $30 to $35. So that is quite a drop from $250 to $30, $35 for Raws. You can get a 9.8 for practically half the price of a Raw from a month ago. Wait more. I think this will drop even further. Number 13, a book I was surprised to see. We have Taskmaster's first appearance in Avengers 196. This is a book from 1980, and it is a key book, and it is a Bronze Age book. So this is a book that you should try to get in your collection anyway. I saw this and I was just shaking my head. In 2021, a 9.8 of this sold for $3,000. Most recent sale of a 9.8 was 900. So, ouch, major ouch. And that's a big key is it's a 9.8 because the last sale of a 9.6 was 183 and 9.4, 176. I'd stay away from the 9.8 and try to find myself a 9.6 that was crack and press and resubmit candidates. Near mint raws are going for 116. So that 900, I think, is still way too high. We will see the Black Widow version of Taskmaster going forward. Hopefully they tweak it a little bit. I don't have a problem with Taskmaster being female, but as long as they actually make the character proper. You know what I mean? I mean, proper abilities, not programmed. So there's still a chance that they could fix that character. I think they might. And again, I wouldn't go for the 9.8. 2019, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Number 12, we have I Heart Skull Crusher, number 1, Virgin 1 per store. Now, the big thing that should be jumping out at you here is this down 20% on the current trend. This was selling for $36 as a raw just a few days ago. And now 9.0 to 9.4s are selling for 15. But the 9.6, 910 is selling for 31. The 1 per store is nice as far as that turns out to be like a 2,200 run, 2,300. So it's not a 500 copy or a 1,000 copy. It's like it's like 2,000 copies. But that's only going to make a difference if everybody wants the book, if it's a good story. So I personally have not read it. I do not know. I do see that the cover A is up, which is nice to see. But well, the cover A is up, and you can get this 1 per store for 15. You can go for it. I wouldn't get it for 30. Not when I see the trend is down 20%. A really high grade, $20, 22. Coming number 11, Avengers Twilight, number 1. This one has been on and off the list, well, on and off the top 10. Now we're expanding to 20, we don't know. First appearance of James Stark in an alternate reality, and we had the last 9.8 sale at $89 on the 16th, but the highest known back in December 4th at 130. Raws are now selling for $18 for a near mint here. I see 11 for on the second. So it looks like the most recent is about $18, which means it's coming down a little bit. Um, Remember, this is another one of those alternate reality stories. So once the storyline is over, it's done. If they, with the multiverse, bring these characters in, they could have a second spike. But as of right now, I think they're going to start to settle down just a little bit. And uh, the prices may come down just a little bit more. So we've just reached the halfway point. Instead of it being 5 issues, we've got 10. We've got the top 10 remaining. But I want to take a moment to say thank you so much for our Patreon and YouTube members for all that you guys do. And we'll try to get a better crowd for the next meetup. And I'll try to see if I can call Stinker Buns to make sure he knows. In the meantime, though, here's a little shout out to you guys. Thank you so much. Okay. All right. So yeah, I got myself back to this screen. So we are ready to hit into the top 10. We're hitting 20 books today. This is cool. I hope this is a new format because I can rapid fire through these things and just make sure that everybody knows one of the hottest books based on current sales and prices. Uh, Remember, the cover price doesn't use any gut feelings in this. This is all with their algorithms. They're scanning and seeing how many books are sold, what price, what books are going up, what books are going down, and just based on what we're doing, what we're purchasing, they compile this list. So coming in at number 10, we've got Mr. Sinister's first full appearance in issue number 221 of X-Men from 1987. And I can tell you right now, you're going to see some X-Men books here. We all know Meatwad is on that list too. Yeah, yes, he was on the list. He's on that page. I mean, I updated it. He's there. So this book has not come back to the prices that it was at, or to the price that I paid for it, but mine. But it's coming up a little bit. Highest known value at a 9.8 was 2021. Is that a shock? 929, and now the last sale was 330. Now this was a little bit lower. This was going for like 290, 300. It's climbing back up again because of the release of the X-Men 97. And we have not seen Mr. Sinister yet, but we know he's coming. Also, there's been some talk about the what they're writing to be the villain in the upcoming X-Men movie when that happens. And there's a lot of speculation that it will be Mr. Sinister. So that's, I think, the reason for this spike right here is people are just grabbing a copy before any official announcements. I don't think they're going to make any announcement anytime soon. I don't even think it's going to happen by D23, which is in August. So this little bubble will drop back down again in a few weeks, and I think that you're going to see this coming back down to about $300 and give you a chance to get a copy. Number 9, we have Jubilee X-Men number 244. First appearance of Jubilee. Now here's a book. Oh my goodness. $589 people were paying for this book back in 2021 in a 9.8. Now 191, 9.6 is last sale for $76. Wow. So and high grade raws, it's funny, you see this, I got near mint 9.6 to 10s selling for 26, and a near mint 9.0 to 9.4 at 56. That has got to be an aberration. Unless somebody just saw an absolute perfect copy and they think it's going to be a 9.8 and they paid high for it, which I've done. I've done when I found that this is a 9.8, I'll pay extra. 'Cause I felt that strongly about it. Not double price, but I felt, I paid extra. Jubilee is she's really a central becoming a central part in the storyline, and I like seeing her there. So um she's not a female character that's being rammed down our throats. She's been there all along. She's almost like the X-Men version of Ahsoka. So I don't mind seeing her. I like her. I actually have 2 copies of this. I have a couple of slabs of this myself. I think that 190 is a little bit high still for a 9.8. I would much rather get myself a really high grade raw and send it in, which is how I got my 2 slabs. Coming in number 8, a book that is very interesting that it's here. We've got the Spider-Man #1 from 1990, the Todd McFarlane run, and this was so heavily printed. You can actually see here the average raw price, even for super high grades, for $13. Near mint's going for $5. 9.8's last sale for $90. 9.9s for 1250 and a 10 for 5,500, 5,400. Oh yeah. I would love to have a 10, but not at that price. 9.6 slabs sell for $36. In all honesty, this is a great book to get for a new reader or for a kid, like a nice present for a kid. And I don't see any reason why this is specifically on the list, probably just from volume of sales. But at $5 for a high grade copy, or if you have a kid that is getting into slabs, this is a great book to start their collection with, because you can get a 9.8 for $90. You can get them a 9.6 for $36. And that's an iconic cover. So, um, hmm, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Coming number 7. Another X-Men book, all X-Men 97 driven this week, right? X-Men number 97. This is the first, X-Men number 213, sorry. This is the first cameo appearance for Mr. Sinister in a silhouette, and this is 8 issues before his actual first full appearance. So you can see that they were building this character up to be something major for quite a while. See, we've got $430 is the highest known sale in 2021. Now, the highest known, the last sale of a 9.8 was 150. 9.6 is 185. Say what? I don't know why somebody paid 185 for a 9.6. I don't know. Maybe some people just bought them all out on eBay. Somebody wasn't very patient. Somebody wasn't patient when they paid 430 either. High grade raw is just selling for 25, and this is a great cover too. So you got the Wolverine there with Sabretooth, which we know is also going to be going on with the I think that was a leaked scene out of Deadpool, that there's going to be a fight between them. But did anybody doubt that was going to happen? I think after Deadpool passes by, this is going to drop a little bit, and yeah, I wouldn't pay a 185 for a 9.6. No, I wouldn't mind a 9.8 for 150 though. That's not a terrible price for this. Coming in number 6, X-Men number 200, The Trial of Magneto. And if you saw the episodes, the costume was spot on. It was really, really cool. Sorry if I'm giving any spoilers here, but season 3, episodes 1 and 2 of X-Men 97, thinking Bad Batch season 3. This is being driven by that. And this is a double-sized issue. It's not a square bound, but it is a really thick issue. So it's trending about 6% up. Highest known sale in 2022. Finally, something that got out of there. $252 for a 9.8. Now, 130 just the other day for a 9.8. and $79 for a 9.6. Super high grade raw is going for 50, and your 9094 is going for 17. This book is 1985, so we are coming up on 40 years old for this book. So if you are able to pick one up, you want to get yourself a 9.6, I would stress on trying to find with one with white pages, because you're at that 40-year mark. You're going to start getting books with off-white slash off-white pages. So go for that page quality if you're going to get one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's Larry? Where's Larry? Did he do this? How did this get back up on the list? Dazzler, number 1, back up on the list. Premiere issue of Dazzler's first self-titled series. The one that's hitting the list is the regular issue, not the printing error one. 9.8s were selling back in January for $335. They are currently selling for $142. They are down almost, they're down 60% since January. Okay. 9.6 is for 82. Raws, high grade raws, 16. Wow. Well, that was back in January. All right. So high grade raw here, the most recent sale, $54 for 9.0 to 9.4. 9.0 to 9.4. 142 for a 9.8. I still think it's going to come down more. I think everybody's going to be dumping this book. I think they got the full. I don't know. Has they listed the full list of actors, actresses yet for the movie? Maybe they don't see Taylor Swift in there anywhere. Who knows? I never thought this was a great investment. I think I have an 8.0. I just bought just to have a book to put behind me, but I didn't want to spend anything higher on that. Number 4, a book that is always on the list in one way, shape, or form. Spawn, number 1. First appearance of, first full appearance of Spawn. First appearance of Sam and Twitch. Down 0.5%, so it's not really different. 9.9 did sell $10,000 in 2021, and it just sold for $3,700. So somebody lost 63% of their value on that book. 9.8's $139 on the 24th, and 9.6 for $80. This is one of those books that they print. Oh God, what did they print? 5 million copies of this? There's a ton of them, and there's a ton of high grade copies. But it's a book that everybody loves to have in their collection. So shop frugally. You could probably get one for even less than $139 if you really want to have one. But I've got my 9.8. I think everybody eventually will have one too. It's a cool book to have. Number 3, we're back to where we started. The Ultimate Spider-Mans, and that's another one of the ones that did come in for me. So the Ultimate Spider-Man number 1, and I also got the J. Scott Campbell, which last sale of that in a 9.8, $68. That's real, that's so current trend is down 4%. It seems to have peaked, thankfully. However, last week the 9.8, I believe, was at 185, and last sale now shows at 200. So it came down to 185. I guess people's like, yeah, I'm going to buy it now, and it's driven it back up again. So I think it's still going to trend and continue coming down. Raws are selling now for 75 for high grade. Those were at 100, so they're continuing. Those are dropping a little bit. I'd wait a little bit more. I think it'll drop a little bit more. Remember, this is still an alternate universe, so unless they bring these characters in through multiverse wise or Spider-Verse wise, when the series is over, these characters go away. This book has gone up too much that it'll never be valueless. I'll tell you that though. So if you got into CovrPrice, you're fine. Coming in at number 2, Ultimate Black Panther, number 1. First appearance of Black Panther, Earth 6160, down 3%. Highest on value of a 9.8 was at 133. Now it shows the last sale at 90. And the high grade raws are still selling there, $35 a piece. This had a printing or a distribution problem where 12,000 copies got lost. I don't know if they found them, if they reprinted. I still have never heard anything else besides that. But But $90 for a raw, I think it'll still come down a little bit more. Story isn't quite as good on this one, in my opinion, as it is in the Spider Man one. Um, but to have a raw copy of to have a copy of it is still, you know, if it is lower print, you still would want to try to get one. But again, I think this is still got room to drop. And then coming in at number one, what the heck? Okay, and this is another one that we got to look at the history on. Um, Marvel Comics presents number 72, the start of the Weapon X storyline. Now, I have a copy of this in a 9.6. I bought this as a raw and sent it in. I got a 9.6 on it. I was happy with that. Uh, Most recent sale of this, 150 for a 9.8. You see what somebody paid for this back in 2021? $1,000. Somebody paid $1,000 for this book. What were we smoking in 2021? Wow. High grade raw is now selling for most recent sale on March 10th. We've got a 9.0 to 9.4 for 15 and 9.6 to 10 on the February 25th for 30. So yeah, just because a certain storyline begins does not make it $1,000 book. 150 for a 9.8. It's a cool known cover. 150 might not be a terrible price, but a 9.6 also just sold the same day for 58 bucks. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to go up anytime soon. I think it's going to hold around this value because of the Deadpool stuff. And then once the Deadpool stuff is over, I think this may drop just a smidge more. So, well, that is the top 20 books. So now I have to come up with my two picks, um my gun to the head pick and my rubber band to the butt. Gun to the head pick is a book that I think would have the best return on investment long term. That if I had to buy at today's prices, what would I get? And I'm actually pretty okay with my choice on this one here. Yeah. Yep. I would be looking to get a 9.8. Hey, Josh, how's it going? Good to see you, man. With my pick, I would be looking to get X-Men Annual number 14. First appearance and starting to be recognized as full appearance of Gambit. Um, and I would go for a 9.8 in this if it's selling for around the 160 mark. Remember, this is a really thick book. So you're subject to spine damage and stuff like that for books that were put into um, long boxes. So to get a 9.8, somebody really took care of it. That would be my pick for, I think, the best choice as far as value. Now, worst choice. Worst choice. What do I think would be the worst choice based on today's prices? Yeah, I'm not going to say Dazzler because it's already come down quite a lot. Um, hmm. Sheesh. That still could have a little bit of movement to it. This is tough because there's no real standout. What the heck? Why would somebody buy this at this price? Um, the market has made it so things don't get crazy yet. What was that going for? Yeah, that's not terrible. Wow. Wow. There's no real terrible stand outish one here. I guess the one I would probably be worried about the most, and it's already down 20%, would be the I Heart Skull Crusher. The Virgin variant, one per store. And that's most recent sale, 31 bucks and $15 for a slightly lower grade. I don't hear anybody really talking about this series, and I think this is gonna just disappear. And just because it's one per store doesn't mean anything. There's just too many variants out there, too many limited books. And if everything is limited, then nothing is. Um, yeah, I think that would probably be my pick for worst, my rubber band to the butt, my worst possible choice for um investment, in my opinion. But yeah, we've hit 36 minutes here that we're talking about the top 20. I may have to I'm gonna wait a couple weeks to see how, if they continue doing this, and if they do it, I'll do it before I change my page and say the top 10 and change it over to the top 20. But I was very happy to see this, when I loaded it up. All right. I'm going to wrap this up and I'm going to put that banner back up. So think about it, you can verify that Meatwad is on that list. He's right there at the bottom. You join up on the YouTube members or on Patreon for Patreon/Team Ohana. And what we got? Great stream. Thanks for the info. Finger red number. I think those were supposed to be emojis and they just didn't come through. Either that or that's some kind of a code that the NSA is going to be hunting you down for. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for joining. I'm going to wrap this up. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. Don't forget to be here for uh, the new comic book day on Wednesday, where we're going to be giving away more books or just plain giving away cash if you live outside the country. And be on the lookout for, I have to pick prizes for a 1,250 subscriber giveaway. I'm making a video for that and making a push for that next milestone. I've already got an idea for one of the books, and I think I might do two giveaways. We'll see how it goes. Maybe one for the live stream and one for the giveaway itself. That'd be cool, right? All right. So, guys, thank you so much for joining, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, mahalo.